Hey everybody, it's Jeff Jackman again today, and today we're going to be talking about the Talladega race this past Monday. So, I really don't know where to start with this one. Okay, it was a really good race. We have not had a race like that in quite some time. I really can't think of many things that I did not like about it, other than that it was kind of craven, one of those, Talladega classic big ones. But, other than that, round of applause to NASCAR. Now NASCAR did bring in like a news rule package, and I think I heard something about new tires. I don't know, but I'm not sure about that. And they said they had sticky tape on the bumpers, but then Jeff Gordon said that only lasts like 10 minutes or 10 laps, so I don't think that had much of an effect on it. But anyways, that race this past Monday that got rained out on Sunday and rained again at one point in between at the end of stage one, that was some really good racing as well. Like the racing was really good. Now this may sound, the racing was really good, now or the race itself was maybe not that good. Well, no, the race was good. Okay, you know what I'm saying? But like, the racing was better than the race. That sounds weird, but like the competitiveness of the drivers. Okay, I can't think of a time during that whole race. Now, the weather, like since there was a good chance of rain at some point, their drivers were probably more anxious to be in the lead whenever they got that halfway point or whatever point is going to come. They were not like, because Talladega and Daytona, they get single file for probably like a 25 lap stretch somewhere along the way. Like in the final stage, I was kept waiting. Okay, so they're probably going to go single file for like at least 15-20 laps in here at some point. But they were not single file that whole race. As a matter of fact, like, because when they go single file, usually they train the top. They weren't even like really, that third groove was kind of irrelevant most of the race. Like, now there was a lot of 2 wide and 3 wide deeper in the pack, but like, I can only think of maybe twice during the whole race where the third groove really was like, there were 3 lanes that are all battling for the lead, I felt like. But, yeah, they were always training the bottom or the middle groove. But, it was, really, like, that race was, like, but yeah, so the racing was really good, like, the competitiveness of the drivers throughout the whole, like, race, and it was really, like, there's new drivers circulating into, like, the top spots, I would say, most of the race. The Penske cars, now, I did not make a predictions video this week, not at the time. I'm probably going to try and make one for, these, doubleheader at Pocono. Okay, so, like, I kind of had the feeling that not Penske cars, well, I had the feeling that Joe Gibbs cars were going to try and, like, do what they do and dominate the front, because they randomly drew the top 3 spots, for just kind of incredible. But anyways, and they did do that for the first, it was really only the first, like, 15 laps or so, I think. But then those Penske cars came in, and they were a force to be reckoned with the whole race. And, at the end of this thing, only Ryan Blaney's really, like, I think maybe only been the top Penske car in the top 10. But, a Penske car ended up winning this thing at the end. Because I think it's debatable. You could have said Stenhouse or maybe Kyle Busch was, like, the fastest car. This whole, like, one of those guys said the fastest car. But, like, overall, all around, the most the best organization was Penske. They they had like all 4 of those cars. Like, they had that power move coming through the trial oval 1 lap, and they were able to bring all 3 of their cars, like, zigzag them up from like 3rd or 4th place, like all through the top like 2 leaders, and just take over the whole front of the field. But anyways, I would give Tyler Reddick was if I had to like give like rookie awards for each race, like the rookie award for this race is going to be Tyler Reddick. He won stage 1 first off, and it was he might or may not have because of the rain, like depending on the rain, but he did it. He still won stage 1 anyways, and he led for a lot at the end. And I know part of that was probably because you did not want to be leading at the end, but either way, he led a lot of laps then. He got a lot of time up near the front of this thing during the race. But, yeah, so the rookie award goes to Tyler Reddick this race. But, Yeah, my only thing against this race is there were like no incidents. And I felt like as competitive as the field was, like the or maybe I just haven't noticed this in other restrictor plate tracks. Well, they're not even restrictor plate tracks, but super speedways. I felt like there was less of like a lead pack per se. Even like usually it was a little less than like the top 20, somewhere between top 15, top 20 that were kind of like in that lead breakaway. And I do have to say, I felt like the Rick Ware cars really took over this thing. The Rick Ware car, I mean, like, nothing against these guys, but like these, okay, nothing against these guys, but like the top, like the rear 5 cars were like a lap down, like before that competition caution even came before this thing. Like, I mean, I don't have the stat, but like, well, actually, I think one of them didn't, like, one of them wrecked out. But anyways, besides the one who wrecked, like the one who wrecked down, I think it was like already like 10 laps down at Talladega. That's like 25 miles behind the whole field. But yeah, like literally, I mean, I don't want to blame, but like I just felt like there was less of like, okay, the top 15 or 20 were all pretty even, you could say. But like I have to say, is there were a lot of cars kind of hanging back. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're trying to avoid the big one, but I wouldn't even say that really. I feel like a lot of the big names are all near the front. But yeah, I mean, but in terms of incidents during this race, I mean, here, let's get the finishing order out here for a sec. But like incidents, I mean, this was an incident, but in last place was Matt Kenseth, who I can make a whole nother video about that. I'm probably going to make a video later this week, guys, in terms of a way too early playoff predictions, so looking forward to that, since we are halfway through the season. But anyways, one thing is for sure, people were a little too hyped on Matt Kenseth's return. Now, this was a mechanical failure, so I'll cut him some slack. But boy, oh boy, Matt Kenseth is not looking too great. Now, if you were to compare Ryan Newman's return to Matt Kenseth, which both have not had, they both had some rough return to the sport, especially for Ryan Newman compared to his last season. But anyways, Ryan Newman, if you're like, okay, let's look, if you were to look at the standings right now, you got Matt Kenseth and Ryan Newman. So, they both have hardly any, okay, so right now, to be, like, you have to have about 310 points to be in the playoffs right now, Matt Kenseth has 130. Okay, granted, he missed, like, what, like, 5 races. Okay, 5 races. That's, like, even if he was in those 5 races right now, he looks like he would be somewhere estimated, like, around 22nd or 21st in points. Or maybe not even that, but pretty much battling it out with Bubba Wallace and John Nemechek. Nothing against those drivers. Actually, I've just kind of started to like those drivers recently, but those are very like mid to back of pack cars most of the time. But yeah, like anyways, I'm not trying to hit on Matt Kenseth again, but anyways. Incidents, Matt Kenseth says he broke a rear hub or something. And then, somewhere, I think it was in Stage 3, Chase Elliott, it looks like got a Penske sandwiched, got a run from Brad Keselowski in the behind, gave him so much of a run. Joey Logano tried to block, he kind of just got squished and was spun on the outside wall. Luckily, it was pretty much avoided by everybody except Austin Dillon, man. But Austin Dillon. And other than that, there was one of the Rick Ware cars, Joey Gase. Brennan Poole, it looks like he cut down a tire on a little bit after that Chase Elliott accident. He saved his car for the most part. He got in the wall quite a bit and pretty much ended his day. But Joey Gase was involved in that one as well. But yeah, those were really the only on track incidents or accidents. Other notables would be Kyle Busch. I think he had a flat tire. They said. He ended up, he was definitely, like I said, him and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. were two of the best cars in this thing, and that kind of ruined his hopes. And I think he finished this thing 2 laps down or so. Another thing, early on, Denny Hamlin had gotten to the wall or something, and he cut down a tire on his car. But yeah, so if you were to look through the finishing order on this thing, you got Ryan Blaney winning. Okay, that finish to that thing was amazing. That was like, just, I don't know what was better, that or like Chicagoland 2 years ago. I mean, that was probably one of the best super speedway finishes in a while. Like, Ryan Blaney's really figuring out how to edge out these drivers at the end. I was a little frustrated that he like banged into Jones, because the Jones would have most likely won the race. So, I mean, it's like, hey, he succeeded. He didn't. Okay, I'm not gonna. I mean, once again, I don't blame him for either of these, but like, he pulled another Ryan Newman, quote unquote. I don't blame him. Come to the checkered flag. What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, if you look at it, Ryan Blaney's like, I mean, I'm probably missing victory in there, but what, he's won this race because he technically would not have won unless he bumped Eric Jones. I mean, you can look at it come to the line. Also, he would not have won that Roval race if Jimmy and what's his name didn't wreck out. And when he barely beat Ryan Newman at this same Talladega race last year. And besides his first win at like Pocono, like he really doesn't have many like true driver wins in a way. So that makes sense. Like he didn't like have like true dominating car, I guess. You could say he won the dominant. He did have one of the dominant cars in this race, but I don't know. Anyways, Rick Stenhouse Jr. at second. Okay, I'm not a Rick Stenhouse Jr. lover. I actually was kind of a hater, but it's cool to have somebody like who's such a restrictor plate like Ringer. Like he just does so good there. Like I'm not picking on him, but he's just not the greatest at other tracks. But I mean, I was really hoping he was going to win that thing coming to the line, but he didn't. He got a close second. Errol Carmona backwards in third. Solid run. Denny Hamlin coming back to finish fourth. Like I said, he had that tire problem early, but yeah, solid run. Joe Gibbs, 2 cars in the top 5. Dude, they always figure out a way to do it. But yeah, then you got honorable mentions, Chris Buescher, 6th place. That was a really good. That's a good run for that team. John Nemechek in 8th. That would have been great. Like if he hadn't been kind of caught up behind Eric Jones' swing car, he might have gotten that top 5, which would have been amazing for John Nemechek. But I mean, still great finish. Got Ty Dillon in 12th. Bubba Wallace 14th. Jimmy Johnson's 13th. Oh my gosh, and he got spun out by Kevin Harvick. I'm glad the caution came, so when it becomes some fuel mileage race, but not at the expense of Jimmy, guys. Yeah, so that's pretty much all the notable finishers, you could say at least. But yeah, that was that was one of my favorite races this year. I mean, I would say the Daytona 500 was better than this one, and like yeah, and probably the Bristol race and the Daytona 500 are better than this one. But other than that, I don't know. So if I had to rate this thing on a scale, though, I'm gonna give it like a 9.5 out of 10, just because I didn't get a big one, guys. I'm sorry. I needed a big one. I needed one, guys. But anyways, yep, that was all from Jeff Jackman today, guys. Subscribe for more. I will have a playoff predictions video coming soon, and might make predictions video for Pocono. If not, I'll definitely make a video, most likely between Pocono Race 1 and Pocono Race 2. And yeah, subscribe for more. I already said that, but peace out, guys.